Hi everyone. In previous videos, we've talked about how the state of Qin, starting with Duke Xiao's reforms, built up its national power. By the time of King Zhao of Qin state, Qin's military and economic strength had peaked, putting the other 6 states of the Warring States period on the brink of destruction. Eventually, Qin state welcomed Ying Zheng, who finally wiped out the 6 states and became the first emperor of China. Now, this is something anyone with a basic knowledge of Chinese history would know. But who exactly was Ying Zheng? Why is it that even though Qin state was almost on the verge of destroying the other states during King Zhao's reign, it was only after Ying Zheng took power that this goal was achieved? Today, we are going to look at Qin Shi Huang from this perspective. Qin Shi Huang wasn't like other rulers in Chinese history. He had neither a temple name nor a posthumous title. In ancient Chinese history, temple names were titles given to emperors when they were worshipped in temples, in royal temples, starting from the Shang dynasty, which valued rituals and worship. On the other hand, posthumous titles were given by the court after a ruler's death, summarizing their life and achievements. During the Zhou dynasty, which followed the Shang, temple names were abolished, and only posthumous titles were kept. Since Ying Zheng was born during the Warring States period, which was also part of the Eastern Zhou era, he probably didn't adopt a temple name because of this tradition. And according to the records of the grand historian, Ying Zheng believed there was a big problem with posthumous titles. They allowed sons to judge their fathers and ministers to judge their rulers. Ying Zheng thought that since he had conquered the 6 states and established the first centralized empire in China, his achievements surpassed those of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. So no one was qualified to judge him. That's why he called himself the first emperor of China. Without a temple name or posthumous title, so what kind of person was Qin Shi Huang? In the records of the grand historian, it's written that the king of Qin had a high nose, long eyes, a bird-like chest, and a voice like a jackal. He was unkind and had the heart of a tiger or wolf. When poor, he could hide his ambitions and serve others, but once successful, he would turn against those who helped him. This description paints Qin Shi Huang as having a high nose bridge, narrow eyes, a pigeon chest, and a voice like a jackal's cry, indicating he might have had asthma or bronchitis. It also describes him as harsh and ruthless. But this isn't entirely accurate. Compared to other emperors who rose from humble beginnings, like Liu Bang or Zhu Yuanzhang in Han Dynasty and Ming Dynasty, Qin Shi Huang didn't execute his loyal ministers after unifying the 6 states. As for his appearance, children usually resemble their parents. Ying Zheng's father was Yi Ren, was Yi Ren, but historical records don't give specific details about his looks. Yi Ren was the son of Prince Anguo, who was the heir apparent of Qin at the time. Prince Anguo's favorite wife, Lady Huayang, had no sons, so she needed to choose a legitimate heir from among the royal family. At this time, Lü Buwei, a famous merchant, through political maneuvering, arranged for Yi Ren to meet Lady Huayang. The strategies of the warring states mentions that Lady Huayang was pleased with his appearance and intelligence, which helped Yi Ren become her adopted son and gain the right to inherit the throne. As for Ying Zheng's mother, she was originally a concubine of Lü Buwei, but he later gave her to Yi Ren. Lü Buwei was a wealthy merchant in Zhao state, and Yi Ren was a nobleman from the royal family. If Zhao Ji, Ying Zheng's mother, wasn't beautiful, she wouldn't have caught the eye of both men. So even if Qin Shi Huang wasn't exceptionally handsome, he certainly didn't look as strange as the records of the grand historian suggest. There's also a lot of debate and mystery surrounding Qin Shi Huang's parentage. Whether he truly belonged to the Qin royal family and who his biological father was. This controversy began with the records of the grand historian also. In the Qin Shi Huang biography section, Sima Qian, the writer of grand historian, he states that Qin Shi Huang was the son of King Zhuangxiang. King Zhuangxiang is Yi Ren, father of Ying Zheng, who met and fell in love with Zhao Ji while he was a hostage in the state of Zhao, and they had Ying Zheng. According to this account, Ying Zheng was born in the 48th year of King Zhao of Qin, the time of 259 BC in Handan city. In this version clearly states that Ying Zheng was a son of Yi Ren and Zhao Ji, with no doubts about his lineage. However, in the Lü Buwei biography section of the same work, Sima Qian provides another version. He writes that Lü Buwei lived with the beautiful dancer Zhao Ji and knew she was pregnant. During this time, Yi Ren visited Lü Buwei's house, saw Zhao Ji and fell in love with her. He asked Lü Buwei to give her to him. Also initially angry, Lü Buwei eventually agreed, as he had already invested heavily in Yi Ren's political future. And Zhao Ji concealed her pregnancy, married Yi Ren, and gave birth to Ying Zheng. Yi Ren then made Zhao Ji his official wife. Sima Qian lived over 100 years after Qin Shi Huang, and many official records of the Qin court were burned when Xiang Yu attacked Xianyang during the fall of the Qin dynasty. So, Sima Qian might have been uncertain about Ying Zheng's parentage, which is why he presented two seemingly contradictory accounts in his history work. Back then, there was no genetic testing at that time, so we can only analyze whether Ying Zheng had pure royal blood based on the nature of the situation. Firstly, in the curious goods historical event, Lü Buwei's successful persuasion of Lady Huayang to adopt Yi Ren as her son was a political maneuver that formed an alliance between the Mi family, represented by Lady Huayang, and the royal Qin family, represented by Yi Ren. And Yi Ren's royal bloodline was crucial to this alliance, as it was a key factor that linked Lü Buwei to Lady Huayang. Lü Buwei spent a fortune and gave Zhao Ji as a gift to help Yi Ren rise to the throne, allowing him to enter Qing's political arena and elevate his status from merchant to noble. For Lü Buwei, the value of his curious goods, that is Yi Ren, lay in Yi Ren's royal lineage. The purity of Yi Ren and Ying Zheng's royal bloodline was a matter of life and death for Lü Buwei, so he couldn't afford to be careless about it. From this perspective, Lü Buwei had no motive to tamper with the royal bloodline. And for Lady Huayang, the key point in adopting Yi Ren was also his royal bloodline. The purity of Yi Ren and his son Ying Zheng's bloodline was equally crucial for Lady Huayang and the Mi family's political future. Under the strict supervision of Lady Huayang and the Mi family, Lü Buwei would have been extremely cautious about any matters related to the royal bloodline, even fearing the slightest mistake. So this might seem abstract to you guys. So let's use an example to better understand why Lü Buwei wouldn't dare tamper with the royal bloodline. After the fall of Qing dynasty, very soon, the legal system of the Western Han dynasty was almost identical to that of the Qing state. So we can see what might have happened if Lü Buwei had attempted such a thing. There's a well-known Chinese historical event called the Feast at Hong Gate, that means also called in Chinese Hong Men Yan. In this event, which took place at the end of the Qing dynasty, was a deadly confrontation between Xiang Yu and Liu Bang. During the feast, there was a hero named Fan Kuai, also the friend of Liu Bang, who burst into the banquet hall with a sword, drank heavily and ate raw pork, behaves very rude, tough, and brave, impressing Xiang Yu and saving Liu Bang. Because of this, Fan Kuai was later made a marquis, a noble title that could be inherited. When Fan Kuai died, his eldest legitimate son inherited the title, marquis title. However, this son committed a crime and was executed, causing the title to be lost. After Liu Bang's son, Emperor Wen of Han, ascended the throne, he considered Fan Kuai's past contributions and gave special favor to Fan Kuai's legitimate son, to Fan Kuai's illegitimate son, Fan Shiren, allowing him to inherit the title. However, Fan Shiren was impotent and couldn't have children. According to Qin and Han dynasty's law, titles had to be passed down to legitimate sons. Without a legitimate son, the title would be abolished. Worried about this, Fan Shiren devised a plan, having his wife conceive a child with his own brother, and falsely claim it was his own son. This child, named Fan Taiguang, inherited the title and kept the marquis alive finally. But eventually, this deception was exposed by a family servant, and the law dictated that Fan Taiguang was stripped of his title, reduced to a just ordinary person, commoner, and the fief was cancelled. This case shows how strictly the Qin and Han dynasties enforced their inheritance laws. The legitimacy of a family's status depended on the recognition of its heirs, who had to be the children of the father and his official wife, or at least formally recognized by authorities of court, like how Lady Huayang recognized Yi Ren as his adopted son. Any fraud involving non-relatives in this matter would result in severe punishment, including execution. From this case, we can see how serious such matters were during the Qin and Han periods. Additionally, Ying Zheng's father, Yi Ren, returned to Qin state first, while Zhao Ji and Ying Zheng remained in Zhao as hostages. Yi Ren later returned to Qin state with Lü Buwei's help, and if Yi Ren suspected anything about Ying Zheng's bloodline, he wouldn't have gone through such trouble to bring them back. It's also unlikely that Zhao Ji would have risked the lives of her child and herself by returning to Qin state if the child wasn't in Yi Ren's son. Lastly, it's worth noting that when Ying Zheng was 10 years old, his father, King Zhuangxiang, passed away. After just 3 years on the throne, Lü Buwei took over as the regent and advisor. Even though Ying Zheng's uncle, Cheng Jiao, had a stronger claim to the throne as the eldest son of King Zhuangxiang, if there were any doubts about Ying Zheng's bloodline, it would have been more logical for Cheng Jiao to succeed the throne. However, Lü Buwei didn't replace Ying Zheng with Cheng Jiao, showing that he had no doubts about Ying Zheng's legitimacy. So from all of this, it's clear that there's no conclusive evidence to doubt Qin Shi Huang's lineage. So that's all of this video. Thanks for your watching. Please like and subscribe, and also welcome for a share and remark. Thanks for watching.